Let's look at the new features of LabSmarts. We'll go to Manage Clients and find a premenopausal female. This looks like a good one here. We'll click Add Test Results. The client's name's already selected, but we have to enter a collection date. It's important. The software uses the collection date to calculate the age of the client at the time of the test. So after we select collection date, we'll just go down to the markers that we've recently added in this new release. So the 3 additional markers outside of the hormones panel that we added are in the additional markers section. That's D-dimer and lipoprotein little a and magnesium RBC. Next we'll scroll down to the hormones panel, which is after the additional markers panel, and you can see because it's a premenopausal female, the menstrual phase drop down appears. These are placeholders that represent the mean of the optimal range for that client based on their specific attributes. It changes based on age or gender or ethnicity, and in this case these will change based on menstrual phase as well. So in this case the default is the child range. We have ranges for children for all of these hormone markers for ages 1 to 10. So the default is just the children's range, and also if you select none, it's also the children's range, which represents maybe the premenopausal female hasn't had her period yet, so you would select none and use the child ranges for that. Let's select follicular. You select follicular and some of these ranges change based on the phase. So you can see estradiol is 51 in follicular. Ovulation is 188. Luteal 85. And then none you see for children is 11. So there are about 7 different sex hormone markers in here that change based on the menstrual phase. And then there are others in here that change based on just premenopausal with no changes in menstrual phase or postmenopausal. Also there's several of these that change based on trimester of pregnancy and various age ranges for males. So let's just enter one here, 51 and 215. We'll just enter these 2, click save, and then take a look at the analysis for those 2. So you'll see in that hormones panel reference range with the bar graphs, you'll see the menstrual phase is captured there, so you know when you're looking at the bar graphs what menstrual phase that client was in at the time. And if you want to learn more about the specifics on which ranges are adjusted for each marker, you click that new window icon next to each marker and it'll take you to that point in the bibliography for that marker that shows you all the different reference range adjustments and then where we got the alarm and lab and optimal ranges. Also, I'll show you, if you go to view test results, if you just want to check and make sure that those results that you entered are correct, you'll also see in there, there's the menstrual phase is captured for that test. We'll go to the Bloodwork comparison table. I think it was Jane Jetson. And we'll scroll down here and you'll see also the menstrual phase is captured for that last test that we just added. And it'll use the ranges here based on the most recent test. Let's show you another feature that we added, which is the correction of calcium based on low albumin. We'll go up here, let's edit this test that we just worked on. We'll go to the CMP, that's where calcium is, and we'll enter a value here, 10, and we'll just enter a low albumin value here of 4. Click save, and then we'll look at that analysis again. You'll see here that now this says calcium corrected, C-O-R-R. That represents corrected, meaning that we changed the value of calcium that was entered to a more correct value for calcium based on the low albumin. Most of the calcium in the serum in the blood is bound to albumin, and when albumin is low, we do the formula. If it's below the optimal range, the formula will kick in and correct that calcium so that is not falsely low because of the low calcium. And for that information, if you want to learn more about that, you click this little new window icon here, and that'll open up to the calcium section in the bibliography. And if you scroll down here, it'll show the formula and it'll explain why we are correcting that calcium. There's a couple other things that we did to help manage entry issues. We've found that sometimes users will enter a collection date that's earlier than the birth date, and their problems happen because of that. So let's just say this is 1986, 6/6/1986. Let's just say we entered 1985, and let's just put a number here and try to click save. It'll tell you collection date must be the same or after the client's date of birth. So it can't be earlier. So at least it'll do a double check and force you to correct that collection date before you can save the test. This will save some trouble for some people who may enter this incorrectly. Let's show you the two other features that we did is we enhanced the file names of the PDFs. So if you go home, this first analysis, and then you click this button here to export this analysis to PDF, it'll put the collection date and the client's name in the file name. So see how it has the client's last name, first initial, LabSmarts analysis, and the collection date, which is 4/15. Let me close that. Go to the manage test results. And this test here, the Bloodwork comparison PDF. We'll click that, export that to PDF. Has the last name of the client and the collection date. Would be the collection date of the most recent test that we're using. And those are all the features. I hope you like them. Let me know if you have any comments. There'll be more markers coming soon. Thank you.